Hi, everyone. Thank you for deciding to listen to this podcast today. Just want to give you guys a quick disclaimer. We do touch on a lot of sensitive topics, so do feel free to skip the episode. We touch on topics such as self-harm, eating disorders, suicide, suicidal ideation, um, estranged families, just a lot of things. So take care of yourself and yeah, and join us next week.
Oseghale, have you started task?
Not yet, but I will be starting it this week for sure. I'm just waiting for my brother to come, then we'll all watch it together.
Wait, is it something you can watch with your family?
No, my parents don't. My parents watch everything. It's cool.
Fair, okay. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but it is actually, it's HBO, but it hasn't got to, it's dark, but it's not like,
It's not like
explicit.
it's not
regular
nudity,
HBO
yeah,
shit.
so I think, I think you can watch it
Okay.
with your family.
Fair.
Chiagoziem, do you want to update the listeners on your
The
studio
studio.
watching?
Yeah, it's
Have you
been
finished?
it's been a fun time. I finished actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know what's so
I
funny?
know that's so new for me.
I actually rewatched the whole of the studio yesterday with my parents. I will watch episode 1 to 10.
Really?
Just
Yeah.
in one day?
And one day, yeah.
Fair enough. Your parents are about that life. Fair enough.
Sorry,
Yeah.
they really
Maybe we
are.
should have them on the pod.
Maybe.
That'd be cool, having like parents on the pod.
I mean, if you
Maybe
say
not
so.
for this show, but
Definitely not for this show. But then they'll be like, oh, what other things have you done? And then you have to show them.
yeah.
We're talking
The
about that and
boys.
KKKs and like whether someone's superpowers are good. Did you watch? I know you started The Girlfriend, right, Chiagoziem? Did you continue with that?
I feel
Is
like
it
I
worth
finished that,
recommending?
Did I finish that? I did. Did I? Let's just say I finished it, yeah.
Okay.
I had a time. Yeah, I liked the studio. I liked The Girlfriend. For The Girlfriend, it was like POV from like the mom and the girlfriend, basically. It was really interesting, like just how they both interpreted different events, and then you kind of like figure out who you want to
Oh, is it
believe
one
or
of those?
the
I
middle
don't
ground.
even I don't know anything. I just know it's Robin Wright, and I don't even like kind of know what. Is it one of those things where two different people tell the same story for both but they have different, like a
Point
Rashomon
of
story, they have
views.
different tellings of the story because of how it impacted
Yeah,
them.
or like they're experiencing the same like situation, but then you get to see it from both of their points of views.
Mhm.
So there's point in time when the girlfriend came over for dinner. So her point of view of the dinner versus the mom's point of view of the dinner. Yeah, it was interesting.
just
I
know
like that
it's
format. Yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
cool. I
I just know it's
recommend.
Robin Wright and Olivia Cook. If you do like that format, though, there's a TV show which I never watched, but people really like it and love it. That did that format. The Affair.
Have I heard of that?
Has Dominic West and Ruth Wilson. So like that's like kind of telling the story from these two different people who were involved in an
Okay.
affair. I'm kind of like, yeah, I know people kind of really like it. I never really watched it. But I'm glad you enjoyed the studio.
Yes.
Who was your favorite
character
non-main
or
character?
episode? Non-main character.
So like cameos, supporting, like, yeah, not someone that we see regularly.
Zoe was funny. I didn't
She
realize.
was very funny when she was high. She was very funny.
Yeah,
you didn't realize she
that
could be
high.
funny.
I didn't know that was in her wheelhouse. I don't think I've seen her in any comedy thing. So
You
that
might be
was
right.
good. Obviously, our Breaking Bad lead, sacrilege. I forgot his name, but I'm bad with names.
Once you say our Breaking Bad lead, I was like, oh, she doesn't remember this guy's name.
But like, I don't know anyone's name. It's even a Miracle
Brian
Line.
Cranston.
Yeah, so he was good. He was so funny.
He won the Emmy. So
did he?
like
For the studio?
He beat Scorsese, he beat Ron Howard, he beat Anthony Mackie, Dave
For the
Franco, I think
studio?
yeah, for guest actor in a comedy.
Yeah, so wow, I have taste. Look at that. But yeah, no, he was good. I enjoyed it. One of my favorite episodes was the casting episode.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was hilarious.
Funny
so
as hell,
funny.
man.
And then it ends with like fuck AI. That was such a funny episode. Like that was a really good show.
That's probably my best episode. Can't lie.
I don't know.
It
I don't
was
think
too
it's.
funny.
I remember watching the episode at like 10 p.m. one day. I was just like, and you know, one of those things where like, as you get later in the night, comedy hits different. because your brain is tired. And I just remember
Yeah.
dying of laughter at like this stuff. Because it's like, I was like, are they nailing this joke? 'Cause obviously there's race involved. And I was like, are
Yeah.
they nailing it? But I don't care. It's really funny. And then with the whole Kool-Aid thing. Yeah, no, yeah. Really like the studio. Oseghale
Yeah.
task. Watch task. That's your task for next week. And then it
Shit.
updates the listeners who should be watching task. This is my agenda for this week. People should be watching task. Okay, Gen V, we ready?
Yeah. Let's roll.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll.
Oseghale, welcome back.
Thank you. FOMO
Welcome
almost
back.
killed me last week. Not gonna lie. I was
Yeah.
feeling that in my chest.
Okay, don't worry. We'll give you a chance to say your piece.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast, and welcome once more to the Elmira Adult Rehab Center. I'm Bankole and today we're getting to the after effects of the fight that got Dana White interested. And joining me to discuss the 5th episode of Gen V Season 2. Please don't ask them what happened during their lunch with Dean Cipher. It's Oseghale and Chiagoziem. How are you guys doing?
All good. Hey, hotties.
Oh, good. Yeah, happy to be back after technical difficulties took me out last week.
Like
to
it
have
happens
you
to the best
back.
of us. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
But like Sam, you're coming back after a week away. So yeah.
I knew he was gonna show up this episode. When I saw him, I was like, "Yeah, our boy is back."
Yeah. I think we have a lot of things we're going to say about Sam.
Yeah.
But before we do everything, we are currently covering both Gen V and Slow Horses. So if you watch both shows, let us know if you watch both shows and you're listening to both podcasts. I'm trying to figure out the Venn diagram of like Gen V and Slow Horses. And you can also let us know which one you listen to first. Like a bit of healthy competition between
I'm
the
crying.
podcast teams is not necessarily like wrong. Please make sure to follow us on whatever platform you're listening on. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and like. I know like you've been hearing YouTubers say that for years and we thought it was bullshit, but it really, really, really does make a difference. Like every subscription is actually quite important, and every like please rate us is actually also quite important because it helps pushing the algorithm, and then like people like this stuff so other people will find it. So please help us do that. Obviously, as always, you can like support us by the Buy Me a Coffee link, which will be in our description. You can send, if you want to send money, you can do that. Also, if you want to watch the videos instead of YouTube, you can watch them on Spotify as well. So maybe you don't have YouTube Premium and you want to watch it on the go, you can do it on Spotify as well. As always, feel free to DM us, email us at popcornfordinnerpod@gmail.com if you have thoughts about Gen V coverage. We're obviously a few weeks, we're recording a bit ahead, but we'll definitely discuss your takes if we haven't already covered it in the discussion. Okay, so Gen V, Season 2, Episode 5, titled The Kids Are Not All Right. And boy, are they not all right. It's written by Lauren Greer and is directed by Karen Gaviola. Before we go into 5, Oseghale, I want to give you a chance, just quickly, your thoughts on 4. If there's anything that we didn't cover, or if you want to like respond to something we said on the pod last week, like, yeah, from 4, what do you want to say?
Well, shout outs to Chiagoziem for actually missing me. Like, damn, bro. Bankole was here talking about my utility. I'm like, what kind of fuck nigga is this, bro? Niggas don't show up for one episode. Niggas forget we family out here. Shit is crazy as hell. Shit is crazy as hell, my boy.
It's hard to break it to you, but I'm seeing the numbers. Everyone's just a number to me. I'm trying to figure out.
He said, "I'm corporate for real."
Yeah.
Fair enough. But I mean, besides that, 4, I think 4 was a really good episode. A lot happened in the episode, like has been the theme of the season. And then that's big reveal at the end, of Cipher actually having powers. Because at first, when Marie was like, oh shit, that she gave this blood and there wasn't V, I was like, yeah, we smart on this podcast. Then they just flipped it and I'm just like, okay, what the fuck? Why does this guy have powers if there's no V in his blood? Like, what is he? Like, or did he invent a way to suppress the V in his blood sometimes so he can pass as human? Like, is such an interesting, I feel like it's such an interesting take on like a soup in the show, because as we all know, every soup has like V in their blood. So for the fact that Cipher doesn't have V in his blood all the time, it's like he's so much more of a wild card. And like, bro, this guy's already the wildest card we've seen.
The options are endless. Like, it could be a natural soup. That's a whole different thing. Like, I guess we'll find out.
I just had a thought. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
No,
you
go
know,
ahead.
in The Boys, when Huey would do the injections,
Mhm.
and then he'd be temporarily
Fucked.
what was his power again? Whatever it was.
Teleportation.
Yeah. I just remembered him nude and I was like, that can't be the power. Either way. So when he did those shots, does that mean like for him, would they be able to see V in his blood? Or is it like a
You're
temporary,
wondering
like
if
it
Sci-Fi is a
flushes through?
temp
Is it
soup?
temp soup?
Yeah, I
Taking,
just thought of that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's possible. That
It's
also
possible.
leads, I guess, it alludes to a line that she says when she's like, he's running out of time, because it could be that.
Yeah.
But then he's like, yeah, but why would he? That's again. Look, there's so many options. That could be another option as well.
Yep.
It's like, but I think he would know that the temp V is dangerous. I don't think
It's dangerous,
unless
Yeah,
there's a
that's the
bigger reason for
thing.
him to want to do it.
Or maybe running out of time, like he's about to die.
Oh, I think he's definitely about to die.
I think he's definitely
But
about
like,
to die
why?
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and if he's about to die and it's a temp V situation, then it's the temp V that's killing him for sure. Because remember, it's the same thing with Butcher. So, but I feel like the way Cipher is, he would have worked out the way to like, deal with the side effects of the temp V.
Right?
Because again, maybe that's what he's doing now. Because remember,
medic.
temp V is blood. He's trying to get Marie to get to a point. Maybe she can't take away the problems from. I think there's a lot of Cipher. I think that's the biggest mystery this season is like, what is actually his plan? Okay. General thoughts on episode 5 before we get into kind of our discussion for this episode. What you guys thought? Oseghale, you said something to me that was very interesting. We normally don't talk between episodes, but you said something I was like, bring down the podcast. Like, what are your thoughts on this episode?
I never expected Marie to become the boys' universe Jesus. I never expected that.
It's like, I was like, okay, I did not know that was the comp we're going to use. But okay. I just wanted to say that we'll expand on that. Maybe, I don't know if it's blasphemy. We'll expand on that later in this episode. But you also mentioned that you think this is your best episode of the season.
Oh yes. I've really liked 5 so far.
Do you have big picture thoughts of why, or is it something that we'll get into as we discuss the different characters?
So in terms of just big picture thoughts of why, it's like first of all, they went into like various character arcs very well. I really liked how they, giving us bits and pieces of like Cipher's background, what his potential motivations might be. Obviously, like, this was the episode with the highest stakes ever so far, right? Like, obviously we're going to get into that like later into the episode. And it was like, okay, fair enough, Cipher, like, you're a dickhead, but this shit is working. This shit is working.
Yeah. Your job for real. Yeah, 100%.
Then Sam, getting to reconnect with his parents. Like, that's the first time I think we're actually seeing something like that. Like, that loop kind of being closed. It is soup that was separated from their family, right? Because all the other soups that were like separated from their families, they didn't really get a chance to like actually reconnect with them, right? So like Sam comes to his, like, he has that conversation with his dad. He's like, oh, like, you guys just like moved on, and his dad is like, bro, we thought you were dead. Like, what did you actually want us to do? Like this is all like we could salvage from like that terrible time in our lives. Then your brother now died on top, and like, wow, still, like, bro, we tried our best to not fall apart type stuff. So I really appreciated that like full circle moment also. Then obviously, like, everybody coming together. Hey, kids. Hey, I don't fuck with Kate, but hey, shout out Kate. She did her thing this episode.
Yeah. Chiagoziem, do you have any big thoughts on the episode?
On episode 5, big picture words: milk merchants, karma, and comedy. Yeah.
Do you want to expand on any of those?
I mean, so, we had our brainiac traitor babe from The Boys.
You keep calling her a traitor.
Also
I don't know why.
known as-
Who did she betray?
I mean, I thought she was gonna be with The Boys, but she's
Why?
with the...
Why? She never give you as an inkling that she was going to support The Boys.
I can hope, can I? I'm free to dream. So,
I
I mean, I don't know if you want to get into the details right
No,
now,
let's talk because
but
I have
yeah.
a similarly derogatory take on her. Okay, but the first thing I wrote once
Okay.
I watched the episode the first time and I wrote my notes, the first thing I wrote down was like the character's mental health because I felt like this episode really kind of went into it. And let's start with Sam because secondly started with that because he's our resident mental health poster boy. Obviously last week I kind of mentioned how like the show he wasn't in the episode, right? And it was
Mm-hmm.
like is the show was the show trying to do with him? We kind of theorized that maybe he was going to go back to go back home at some point this season, and he does go back home. And it's my biggest takeaway from this was that Oseghale mentioned that they closed the loop, and I was very happy that they did. Like I thought his story, for example, this episode could have ended when he punches his dad or whatever, but like it actually ends with resolution. It ends with um him, his family accepting him and him accepting himself that it wasn't V that made him who he was. I did
Mm-hmm.
find the Sam story quite interesting this episode, and I was like, okay, maybe it's like tying a bow on his mental health, not necessarily tying a bow on the struggle, but tying it on that plot line to probably get him back to our main group, maybe like for the next half of the season. Um, I even thought, like, for example, him saying that he wasn't going to go and help Kate was actually kind of weirdly growth from his part, even though it's not necessarily the best possible thing. It was like, it was kind of actually growth. What did you guys think about like Sam's homecoming?
I was so happy, like even outside of the homecoming, when Emma called him and she was like, "Babe, we need your help," and he was like, "I'm sorry." He was like, "No, I'm sorry. Good luck. Be careful." And I wrote down, "Love that for Sam," because it's
Mm-hmm.
so important for you to stand on business. He was in his healing arc, healing era. He said, "Fuck Kate," doubled down on it. She is not a good person. I'm not with it. And then Emma was trying to do the whole, "Oh, but wouldn't you be less of a bad person or not like
Yeah.
Kate if you came?" He was like, "Nah, fuck that, babe. I'm with my fam."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I love that for him. And then also with the general like homecoming, him having those conversations with his mom and his dad. I feel like, especially with his mom letting him know that it's like a genetic thing, I feel like that will also maybe help him get a bit of peace or
Mm-hmm.
like closure in a sense. And
Yeah.
then, they had the open sharing moment about when he first had his first interaction with the lady.
Well, so he didn't say he had. He said he
This
Oh,
saw
when
way
he
his
you
first
saw
first
his first
saw,
vagina.
vagina. Yeah.
you
So
know.
obviously, I want to hope that he had an interaction and
Yeah,
not
because
like.
otherwise that would be
I know
strange.
like he was on some peeping shit, bro.
But also, it's
Yeah.
a playground. But no, it's a playground. So is it like
So where
the
you
other way
play?
around? Is it an adult being a terrible adult with
Let's
like
not
teenagers?
go
Hey,
deep
look,
like
we're having a
that,
discussion.
please.
Remember when I told you guys
Let's
I'll
keep it
ask you
light.
guys a question on set to you every episode?
Yeah.
Uh,
Whoa, didn't think that far. But even when
yeah.
he also told his dad that the Maeve doll was
Was
an
Yeah.
his comrade.
exploratory
Yeah.
tool, he's a funny guy. I love
Eh,
this cast of
well,
teens, just
look,
hilarious.
they said the best comedy comes out of trauma. So if that's
Facts.
the case,
Yeah,
Sam is going to be very funny
Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
because
That's why Emma is probably
That's why
hilarious.
Emma's funny as
yeah,
fuck. For
yeah.
sure.
Look,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a reason I talk about mental health this episode.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, all jokes aside, like I said, I was very because I think they do a bit of misdirect. They make us believe that like Sam's mom is gonna not want her son back and she's gonna call
Mm,
Vought like from the moment he first
From the
comes in.
moment he
I
first
really
comes in, yeah.
just I like the fact that they just kind of subverted our expectations and kind of wrapped up this story in a way that gives Sam kind of the freedom to go and now live his life. And you're right, Chiagoziem, like now that he knows that he doesn't have V to blame anymore, right? If he's going to blame anybody, it's going to be somebody in his lineage, right? So like
yeah, the
maybe now that
ancestors.
gives him the courage and the strength to actually try and figure out how to like work on himself and work on his health. So, do you have any thoughts on Sam that you haven't already kind of touched on? I know you discussed him in your big picture thoughts.
Um Again, I'm happy for the boy, and now there was something else his mom told him, right? That like he can do anything he wants to do, but he just has to take responsibility. He just has to
Mm-hmm.
take responsibility for his life, right? And like I don't think anybody has actually straight up told him that before, right? Because again, the V fucking up his mind was always his crutch. And now he knows that, okay, like, I'm just like this. And, them telling him his uncle was in Vermont when his uncle went to jail for, being on some crazy shit too.
Yeah.
It's part of that growth, like from a child to a teenager, they tell you the truth. It's like, oh yeah, like, they'll tell you Santa Claus is real, blah, blah, blah. And like, now your uncle went to Vermont, nah, that nigga in jail, my nigga. Like, yeah. So,
or in the psych ward.
And even the thing with Kate, it's like, it's him basically telling his dealer, fuck you.
exactly.
Like, he's like cutting off his dealer, he's throwing away his dealer's phone number. It's like, because he's been relying on Kate to cure, like, make him forget, right? Which is basically like, let's say, drugs or whatever. And now he's like, actually, no, none of that. I'm actually going to kind of live life and do all of that stuff. So hopefully we get to see more of Sam in the main storyline. We're going to talk about every one of the characters because, like I said, somehow the mental health thing kind of went through all of them, but we'll kind of run through because there's lots to talk about in this episode, obviously. Kate, it doesn't really, the show is not hiding her mental health struggle. Like, it's right there in the text. Like, remember they have her stripped down, like, at Elmira. Like, you kind of see both her physical, this just hit me as I was talking now, because you see her physical, like, defects, but also, like, Kate's power is mental. And now it's broken.
Yeah.
Like, quite literally, she's mentally broken. It's like, yeah, so you're like, she can't even do the one thing that made her strong, which was using her mental power. So, like, yeah, a lot of Kate is kind of broken. And seeing her in that instance nude, like with one arm, and then even the way every character reacts to her, because they haven't seen her like that. So you're like, oh,
that,
wow,
yeah.
actually. Yeah. And it's them. They did it to her. Obviously, she deserved it in every instance, but they did it to her. Like, Mary bust her arm, her head. What are you going to say, Chiagoziem?
Sorry, tying back to Emma being a hilarious babe.
It's on my lines. It's one of my lines.
It's one of my lines.
Okay.
Should we just say it now? Because we're going to do favorite Emma lines. You want to just say what you want to say?
So, let me quote her exactly. She's like, Jesus, I barely even recognize you. You look like weird Barbie.
Yeah.
And
There's a
I was
second one I
like,
think
There's a
was
second
early.
one. Yeah.
What's yours?
When they escaped and she's like, wow, shout out Frankie Cunt.
That one to put, like, literally both of those, both Weird Barbie and Frankie Cunt are on my notes. I just like Emma was unleashing on Katie's episode.
Bruh.
Because I was like, Weird Barbie, that's it. That's like, and then she called her Franken cunt, and I was like, okay, we're just like.
Oh, is that what she said?
Yeah.
See, I had
That was
a
the
note
second time.
because I wrote down somewhere, and this is why I need subtitles. It's so hard. These are the struggles of being a podcaster they don't tell you about, right? When we get these episodes, or being a guest podcaster,
bring out the violin, the tiny violin.
Whatever. Sure, we get the episodes ahead of time. Cool.
Well, we don't have subtitles.
Prime Studios. You say we have subtitles.
I said we don't have subtitles.
We don't have
exactly.
subtitles.
So Prime Studios, we appreciate you for giving us these early releases. XOXO, love you down. Yes. However, for someone like myself who needs subtitles actually to really hear things, I had no clue what Homegirl said. I did write it down. I was like, she said something.
Frankie question mark. Don't worry, I'll clip this part out. I'll send it to Prime Video. Maybe they'll change their ways for you.
I mean, user feedback, customer.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kate is also going through it. Jordan. Actually, Jordan is a lot more intricate. So is there anything about Kate you guys want to mention about Kate? So on like I said, it's very on the nose. It's very in the text. So there's very much we can like kind of pass there.
The only thing. Sorry, you go ahead.
I feel like Kate is angry at them, but it's like at the same time when they come to rescue her, she's like, you can tell that like she's actually very surprised and very grateful that Emma of all people is there, because she's like, if there's one person that really hates her guts, is Emma, because Emma literally just left her to die a couple episodes ago. So now she's like, oh shit, like she actually came back to save me. Okay, like I'm not really alone in the world. And I feel like that might also play into like helping her get her like mental powers back to like working properly again. Because it's like just
The power of friendship.
understand exactly the power of friendship. The power of friendship never fails. So that's one thing I wanted to add about Kate.
Chiagoziem, were you going to say something?
Oh, my only Kate thing was the power of white privilege. Because this babe is in a prison cell. They tell her to strip down. She said, "Can you at least turn around?" And the guard said, "Shut the fuck up and strip down." And I was like, for her to even be thinking to ask, I mean,
That's fair.
I
That's
That's
mean,
fair.
fair.
but
That's
like,
fair.
granted, I don't know why a man was there when she was stripping down. That
Look,
is
Elmira does not follow any
HR
Elmira don't
decent
give a
rules.
fuck, bro.
HR
Yeah.
violation, in my
I don't think
opinion.
Elmira has HR
But for her to
Uh,
even,
thing
it
to
must be
ask. No, you're right.
nice.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's what I thought.
Um,
Yeah.
let's do Marie, because I want to leave Jordan for last. Let's do Marie. The only thing I have about Marie is that she mentions that during their first day in Elmira, she thought about suicide by cutting. And I thought, again, that was so interesting because they mentioned this, Cipher mentioned this like self-harm thing. We discussed the self-harm
Yeah.
thing in the premiere episode. And I, I think it's so interesting that the way she thought about killing herself is by cutting. Like, she has convinced herself that that's the source of her power, that she needs to cut to use her powers. But at the same time, that's the, like, she's in jail. She could do like, what they call it, bed sheets and hang herself. She like, to kill yourself. Obviously, again, no one should do that, please. But the point, like
Yeah,
the fact
you
that
have
she
to put
was,
a trigger
yes,
warning on this
just to be
episode,
clear.
like mad.
But the fact that like she was going for cutting, I find it so interesting because from the moment Marie first got her powers, it has been linked and tied to trauma. And like her powers have always been tied to trauma, right? And then now, like, she wants to kill herself and she's thinking about doing it the same way she gets her powers. It's so deep. She wants to cut herself so deep that like she can't use the powers. And I just thought it reinforces what we said, versus what Cipher says, not to give that man any credit, but it reinforces what Cipher said in the first 3 episodes. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you're telling yourself that it's for your powers, but really it's self-harm. You like having these powers, but you also see them as something traumatic, and you think that the only way you can really access them is through through trauma and through cutting yourself. And I just thought that was like, again, a haunting visual to think about. It was like a one-off line, but it really stayed with me just on Marie and like the implications on her.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, like, it's good to be brought up because that was also in my notes. It reminds me of Speedball in the X-Men. So he's a hero that became Penas and he could only access his powers like through pain. So he literally made a costume that like had spikes inside it that would like stick into him for him to use his powers. So it's like people that have traumatic experiences with their powers, like historically in comics, they always do stuff like that.
Yeah. And they lie to themselves thinking that it's like, it's the only way they can get it. But not lie. Lie is a harsh word. They convince themselves that like that's the only way they can use their powers. And but then it's just, again, just self-harm. It is quite a very kind of dark thought, really. Chiagoziem?
Yeah, this is how I know that you're a writer. Because the way you described that just now, it was very poetic. And now I'm in
Okay.
my thoughts. I'm just thinking,
Okay.
I'm like, wow, you really
Thank
unlocked something in there. Yeah, shout out to you, Bankole.
Okay,
I'll give you your flowers.
Shout
thank
out,
you.
shout out to the intellectuals.
Shout out
I'll
to the
take that.
intellectuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still in your thoughts, or do you have anything? Do you have
No,
anything to
just
say?
now I'm thinking more thoughts. I hadn't thought of it that way. But what I did have for Marie, maybe she's also I don't know, because this saving Kate mission was very clearly a trap, as Emma
It
tried to
was
tell
so
them
clearly a
It
trap.
was
Like,
so
it was
clear,
so
Jack,
many
like it
times.
was.
So I don't know if she was having some sort of like, I don't know, savior
survivor's remorse.
yeah, or like savior. Oh, that should yeah, that makes more sense actually. Survivor's remorse, because even her PTSD inspired locker room hype speech to get all of them like
You're
locked in
right.
to go.
You're right.
I was just like, this is an angle and a take. I've never seen anyone leverage to get people to align
That's
with
fair.
their
That's
That's
course of
fair.
fair.
action.
Yeah. She didn't rally them by like going to their
No.
best instincts. She made it was like, remember how
She was
bad
like,
you
remember
felt?
how bad you couldn't even come out of the room when they opened the door?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, wow.
I mean, it's definitely tied to like her guilt about Andre dying and not going back for the
Yeah.
I'm not going
100%.
back.
You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Also,
So,
sidebar, Cipher is so fucked because why the hell did he take her to the door? And
yeah.
like, oh, this is where
Yeah,
Andre
Cipher.
had his last moments. You inspire
Because
people.
that's a sick man.
He's a very sick man, and I love him.
Crazy.
So Emma, we talked about again your powers being tied to traumatic experiences. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote down what Emma said to Kate when Kate sees her trying to throw up. Um, Again, just to be very clear, we are discussing mental health issues across this episode. So, like, we do acknowledge like these are the great thing about this show is that it's representing things that real people go through. So, like, please, if you're
Mm-hmm.
going through any of these things, like, I
You gotta
guess
add that to
if
the
you
start of
can,
the episode.
if you
You
if you
gotta shout
can
out the
see, yeah,
self-harm,
we'll
eating
do something at the
disorder,
end. We'll do something at the
mental
end
health
for the
at the
start.
start. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you can, like, if you can see the how do I put it? If you can see what the show is trying to say, I hope you do see it because
Mm-hmm.
like it's not just depicting these things. I think sometimes when we're in the middle of these things, we don't actually see what like people are trying to say, right? It's not just saying this is somebody that throws up and somebody that cuts themselves and somebody that's physically harmed. It's also trying to show something. I think if you are able to please try and see what the show is trying to say about these larger issues and kind of like the power of community and how these people kind of help you through these things. Um, Emma says this to Kate. I thought I could get all of that shit under control. I throwing up. I wouldn't have to puke anymore if I could get my powers under control. Everyone said I needed help, that I had a disorder, and I kept saying that I was fine. It's just my powers. And then she says, I'm never going to be able to stop. And it's one of those things, again, because she's used her powers last episode, right, without having to go through these extreme measures. But now, the moment she's in a dark place again, the first thing she does is to try and puke. And I think, like Marie, she's someone whose power has always been tied to like a manifestation of her own mental health issues. And she's always used that, oh, it's the way I it's the way I shrink, it's the way I use my powers, it's the way I make money because she was a movie star or YouTube star, rather. She used that as an excuse to not confront these issues. And I think that moment in the cell when she's like, oh, actually, no, I can't do my powers without doing this. I've done it already, but I still feel the need to do this, even though like I thought it was quite interesting. I don't know why Sci-Fi did it, but I know why they show did it. Like, quite interesting that her cell was just transparent. Like it was the one where you just could see everything. So like even though there was nowhere to hide, she still just got a bucket and went to throw up. And I was just like, she's like, this is me. And it's like again, it's like Sam. It's like the V didn't make me like this way. I was already this way. So maybe now I can confront it. It was, yeah, this thread across all the episodes was just something that really did kind of, yeah, it really kind of like stayed with me after what the episode for the first time. And I was like, it's quite interesting that, because normally these things might be spread across different episodes, but to have all of them in one episode was, I was like, oh, it can be a mistake from the writers for sure. Um, Jordan is somehow the biggest one. And I'll just tell you, maybe after the fight, Jordan says to Marie, it was like I was in the backseat of a car, but Cypher was driving. Everyone here has watched Severance. Yeah, so spoilers for Severance season 2. If anyone hasn't watched Severance, please skip. We'll put a timestamp in the description. At some point in Severance season 2, Haley R talks about when Helena was pretending to be her. And she kind of alludes to it. I don't know if she does it or just the writing does it, but it kind of alludes to the fact that she doesn't have consent, she doesn't have control. This woman has taken control of her body, right? The real world implications are very clear there. And for some reason, I was thinking about that a lot after watching this episode for the first time with Jordan, because she says like she was there. It's a different version of the Haley R situation because Haley R was not conscious, but Jordan is conscious but has no control, right? It's like those atrocious stories I hear of sexual assault and all this, where like the woman has been drugged, she can see what's going on, but she has no control. And that's what, and Cipher is there playing with literally, like he literally says, his hand up her ass, like controlling her like a puppet. She's there, she can feel everything, she can see everything, but she can't do anything. And that's gonna fuck you up. And I was just, not to somehow bring this this podcast down so much, but it was like something that I just, when she said that, and I was thinking about Severance, and it just really stuck with me. And I was just like, it is very fucked. Like that's what she went through, and I can't imagine. Or what? Sorry, that's what they went through, and I can't imagine what, like, the way they are feeling about everything. So it was, yeah, it was like the Jordan Cipher thing. Please, someone jump in so I don't keep on letting listeners tune off.
First of all, it's crazy how this just became such an important episode out of nowhere. Like, I know the clip's going to drive people crazy, but nah, like, Bankole, you're so right, because again, that's literally what I was thinking about. And I'm just like, yo, it's like, because it's one thing to be unconscious, right? Like the whole severance thing.
Mhm.
It's another thing for somebody to be controlling your body and to be hurting somebody you love in your presence with your body. And it's like, what the fuck? Because literally he was like, they were like that. I thought I was going to kill you. Like, and that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, somebody is dying in this fight. This is Gen V. Like, I wouldn't have put it past for them to kill somebody in that fight. So I'm like,
Yeah, to kill Jordan for sure. Yeah.
So I'm just like, yo, this is going to be crazy. Especially when Marie starts bloodbending, and I'm just like, bro, is this guy about to make Marie kill the person she's in love with, bro? Is this really what this guy is going to do to get her powers to the fullest? And it's just like, again, about Cipher being such a worker, like, he can do anything. Like, I don't think there's anything he's not capable of. So anything he's doing, I'm just like, oh guy, I beg you. like chill, like just relax. But now, like, but everything you said, like the themes of this episode, and again, that's another reason why I feel like I enjoyed this episode so much. Is like they touched on so many important things in subtle and not so subtle ways, right? And it's like, you know, obviously, like, watching TV, all these things is entertainment, but, like, you know, especially, like, regarding chances passing, I feel like they've really tried to, like, hit home the point about, like, this being a deep cutting and emotional show, especially this season. Because a lot of the time, I always have conversations with people about this. Like, people talk about the boys, talk about Gen V, that, like, oh yeah, they only survive off shock factor. And I'm like, no, bro, like, this is some great writing and some great storytelling. If it was just shock factor, people would have put down this show a long time ago. That's just a simple truth of the matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Chiagoziem, anything to wrap up the characters?
For Jordan, yeah, for me, it was when they said the Cipher was controlling them switch as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
So fucked
Yeah.
I know I'm laughing, but like, it is so fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's their thing, right? That's like they are by gender, they own that, and then to be able to control that against another white man owning a minority's experiences.
True.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild
That's
as
another
hell.
layer.
Wild
That's
as hell,
crazy.
bro.
Like, even making them, like, talk as well. Yeah, it was just all around. Like, I didn't even deep it to the level you guys deeped it. So now I'm just thinking, I'm just like, yo. Yeah, this episode did a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm cursed with the idea that when I watch something, I just keep on thinking about it. I mean, obviously, if it's good enough, as Gen V is. And I think when you watch a lot of things, like, your brain starts to connect all these, like, Severance. Like, why am I connecting Severance with Gen V? But my brain just starts to connect all these things, which is why I do try to like to watch things away from recording, because sometimes I don't know if my brain's gonna go. Because again, it's like, it's so funny when you're doing things like this, because somebody else is going to do a very good podcast on this episode and they won't touch on any of these things, right? And it doesn't make their podcast any less valid or ours any more valid. It's just like, it's where your brain goes, and it's like the things that interest you. I don't know why the things that interest me are mental health, but like, that's it for a different discussion with my therapist.
I need to lock in, because the only connection I made, well, not the only connection, but one of the, like, from last episode, really, you know, when we first saw Cypher's dad, my first thought was, is that Deadpool? No, like, that
would have been an incredible crossover.
You guys are laughing. I'm just
literally.
like, But so these are the kind of thoughts that I'm
I mean,
thinking. So I feel
look,
like, I mean, apart from Emma's, I felt like, I don't know, me and Emma, like I really feel her on a
you
different
vibe with her,
level.
fair.
Um, yeah, so this is a deep episode.
On a different podcast, would have gone out into why you vibe with Emma, but I'm not gonna. I
Yeah,
don't think
let's
we
not,
can handle that this
yeah,
episode.
yeah, let's not do
No, I
that.
mean you're selling yourself short. I think if I didn't think that you could see those connections, you won't be on this podcast talking about this show. Okay,
Right.
should we do something more fun?
Yes,
Let's
Yes,
talk about
sure.
please.
Cipher and Sister Sage,
Yo,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
yo, do you understand that, like, guy, first of all, like, already know Sister Stay is a fucking weirdo, but why was she
Mm.
staring into his dad's eyes when she was fucking Cypher, bro? Like,
So
My
I think
issue is
yeah.
that
Go
is the
ahead.
most alive the dad has seemed since we've met him. That was my thing. I'm like,
I think
homeboy.
all three people in that situation have consensus to what's going on. Like I think the dad wants that Sage and Cypher like do that for the dad, or everybody shy is like getting off what is happening in that bathroom. Like that's my read of the situation.
yeah, fair enough, because that nigga's eyes are open as a motherfucker.
Yo, his eyes were glistening, like
The
with
guy said,
excitement
I
and
don't weak.
focus. Yeah, like literally.
I was so sure. Not, I mean, this is GMV, so this is not necessarily that crude. But I was so sure that we're gonna see his hand start moving. Like I was so sure that this was his weekly hand moving session. Like
Exactly.
Right.
But Sage is Vought CEO. They mentioned that.
They mentioned that.
I do think because I get the impression that we're going to get more The Boys cameos as the season goes on, and I do see that. And we can discuss this as we go on the season, I'm sure. But I do see this being kind of the point of contention for viewers. I think some people will embrace it as like it makes the world feel more lived in. Everybody's kind of in the same world. And I said to people like, I just want to see a Gen V story. I don't necessarily need The Boys characters. Because obviously The Boys is ending next year. So I'm sure a lot of these things here will kind of carry over on, or maybe not carry over, influence the final season of The Boys. So people are like, I just want to watch a Gen V story. I don't really want The Boys infiltrating that story. I mean, let's discuss it later when we get more cameos about how the two of you feel about that. But I think it's something to keep in mind. It's like, is it distracting for you, or is it something that you encourage and you want to see because like it makes the world feel more lived in? Cipher, he has the scene with his dad, which we've discussed, and then he has a lunch with Polarity. This man, this like, at this point, I feel like there is no way the final reveal of Cypher's like plans or his powers will live up. I think it's inevitably going to be like disappointing because I'm not gonna lie, the build up is crazy. Like every scene is like this man is the devil. This man is like he feels like he has the powers of like Homeland. Not obviously not the powers of Homelander, but like he's powerful like Homelander, but also he's like smart.
He's smart,
like,
which makes him more
like
dangerous.
Giancarlo's character, I can't remember his name, Newman's dad, Stan Edgar. So like it feels like it's those two characters in one, and that's not really a character I want to see because that's quite scary. And then he says to Marie that he doesn't want to be a weapon, that he doesn't want to make her a weapon. She's their salvation. Before we go to the end of the episode, what are you guys' thoughts on Cipher this episode?
Bro, see, the thing about Cipher is like you can tell that like he's insane. Or like he's legitimately not okay. But he has embraced it to the fullest, and it literally makes him good at what he does. I'm not even going to lie. Like all the stuff he's doing is so fucked up, but it is working. And it is working well. Like, and that's what makes him more annoying because you can't even argue with this nigga, bro. Like, he's giving you receipts back to back. Bro, when he was talking to Polarity, and that's another thing that makes him so fucking annoying. You know how you're talking to somebody and, you know, you're trying to beat around the bush. He's like, bro, just ask me what you want to ask, bro. You want to know how your son died? Yeah, I was experimenting on that nigga and he died because he's a bitch. That's literally what he said. And I'm just like, yo, bro, like, can you relax? And Polarity now uses his powers to put the knife at this nigga's neck. This nigga grabs the knife and stabs himself and looks this nigga in the eye without blinking and says, "You have no idea what you are dealing with." Bro, Polarity was literally shaking. And he's like, bro, imagine somebody that, like you can literally kill, just tells you, bro, you don't want these problems, bro.
It's like one of those things. My favorite thing in action movies, right? When people come up, like think of John Wick, so any of big action stars, when like a group of people come to like an old man or a guy and they're like, and he's like, "You don't want this." I'm always like, you should listen, because if this man who looks like you can beat him says you don't want this, he probably knows something that you don't know.
Facts.
So probably go away. And it's like, so yeah, I think that's kind of what everybody's like, what is this guy? And yeah, I mean, Chiagoziem, thoughts on Polarity this episode?
Yeah. He seemed very... Oh, he also had the breakdown, actually, I've just remembered. But you know when Cipher grabbed the knife in the air, I was just thinking, for Polarity's power, is it a case when he moves things, people can't move it?
I was thinking that as well.
Because
Because
he
I was
seems
thinking,
so...
is Cypher's ability to grab the knife, is that like a power, or is it just that he can grab the knife? Like anybody can grab the knife if Polarity is moving. I get what you mean, because I was thinking about that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he seems so like stunned.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if he was just like, oh, I'm messing with the crazy nigga for real, for real.
Who stabs his hand and just
Yeah.
stares at me. Yeah. It's, I don't know, because it even goes back to like the first episode when Cipher grabs Kate's hand. It's like, did he grab Kate's hand like as a normal person, or was that like a power use of his powers? I don't know. It's like, again, because we don't really know his full extent of his powers, we actually don't really kind of know everything. Yeah, earlier I mentioned about Polarity. I meant to say about Cipher. I think Polarity, he had a breakdown. We'll talk about him later in episodes, I'm sure. Cipher does have one moment of weakness, and we'll say this and then we'll go to the end. Jordan kind of reads him for filth, and you can kind of see that he breaks a bit his veneer. Jordan explains that like they could feel that Cipher was he was in pain, right? It wasn't easy for him. It wasn't just like wearing a glove. And I do wonder if that's part of his power. Like he's always literally in physical pain, which is why he can do things like the knife, because like new pain doesn't really matter to him. He just like always feels pain. I don't know. Again, we'll find out more about his powers as the episodes go. The end, you talk about the end and then wrap up. It was only on rewatch that I realized that when Sage told Cipher that she had a present for him, it was
It was
Annabeth.
Annabeth.
Yep.
And I have in my notes, which goes to Chiagoziem calling her a milk merchant, I literally have, I hate coons, man. I just like sold out a black girl to this white man.
She was wearing a shirt that said Detroit. I'm just like, babe.
Yeah, nah, bro.
She's so serious.
Yeah, so the end, they show how Annabeth, these guys escape it again in a very clearly, like everybody's calling out like, this is too easy.
Yeah.
And then they go and then they see Annabeth is dead. And Mary brings that nigga back to life. Mary does like Lazarus and brings her back to life. And I was just like, okay, so this woman is the most powerful person around. And it's Cipher. I mean, in case I wasn't clear, Cipher has obviously orchestrated this and made it so that like the terms are so extenuating that like Mary's full powers are used and she can't control it, that she's very emotional and all of that stuff. And I mean, yeah, what do you guys have to say about the end? I mean, it was very clearly a trap, but Cypher's thing worked.
So remember in the beginning of the episode when Mary was talking to Jordan, and she said that during the fight, she felt like she could have destroyed the whole arena. I was like, that's a very specific way to describe how strong you're feeling. I was like, okay. So again, this shit Cipher is doing is working. And there was another thing that Cipher said during the beginning of the episode. He's like that Marie is going to come back to train with him because she's curious. And I feel like that also kind of plays into why she wanted to rescue Kate, because again, she knows she's stronger. Like, she knows that, like, obviously, like, all this stuff is making her stronger. Obviously, like, she actually wanted to rescue Kate because she knows, like, Amara is really fucked up and, like, obviously they ended up putting Kate there. But I feel like her curiosity also plays into all these things. Then at the end of the episode is like, because at first when they open the cell and Annabeth is there, I'm like, okay, maybe she's not dead. Then they confirm that she's dead, and I'm like, okay, where the fuck do we go from here? And then Marie turns into the boys' universe Jesus. She brings Annabeth back from the dead, and I'm like, okay, this is the salvation Cipher was talking about, because this is fucking crazy. Because, bro, if she can bring people back from the dead, there's nothing she can't do at this point. Like, and because even Sister Sage and Cipher were talking about how if Homelander sees how powerful she really is, then there's going to be problems, because he's obviously going to see that this is a danger to him. And Sister Sage is like, oh, he shouldn't worry about Homelander. And it's like, even just from Sister Sage being in the boys, you can tell that she has contingencies for everything. Like, she definitely has a way to take out Homelander. So that's that just keeps like playing in my mind. It's like, so what is her goal? Like, what's her and Cypher's actual goal? Like, I hope that, by the end of this season, they get into their grand plan. But at this point, it's like Cypher is working with Sister Sage. Sister Sage is basically like, fuck all humans, but it's not like she likes every soup either. So it's like, things are so up in the air. Then Cypher is like, nobody knows what the fuck he's on. Like, nobody knows what he's doing. All we know that he's been experimenting on soups for years, trying to get them to experience the fullness of their part. It's like, bro, how many like babies died in Project Odessa just before Marie was born? So like, Marie is literally the culmination of his life's work. But why?
Yeah.
But why? Like, that why? Like, and that's what, and I get what you're saying about that review might end up being disappointing, because it's like the build up is so crazy, like the lore is so crazy, everything. Like, what can they really be doing?
Yeah. Also, the performance is so crazy. The performance is so good. Where like, I'm just like, obviously I love performance, but also like, I hate this guy so much. He's so
exactly.
But the plan is working. The plan is working. Chiagoziem, thoughts on what was your moment as she was bringing Annabeth back to life? What were you thinking?
I was thinking, first of all, everybody in that room was getting impacted. So I was just also thinking, can she, obviously not like life force because she deals in blood, but can she also like use other people kind of to affect, I don't know how to
Like
explain it, how it was in my,
as like source of her power, like drawing them.
yeah, or sort, because I'm like, why is it, or is it just like the sheer force?
I think it's the reverse.
Like
Instead of taking them in, her power is like affecting them.
Affecting them,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
I think if she had gone on longer, she could have killed Jordan,
all of them.
Emma, and Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
So
I think
that was
it's
the
like,
one thing.
Yeah.
And then, from what I can see, I feel like all she did was close the wound, right? But maybe she also then had to have done some, I think she was killed. Where was all the blood? I know her throat was
What's her neck?
slashed
I
because
think she probably
She
started pumping.
repaired
start
that.
her heart, yeah.
Yeah, she started her heart, but so she had
Okay.
to cover the wound, because no matter if you start the heart, the blood will still come out of the wound of the neck. So she restarted her heart and then covered the wound so that the blood could stay in the body, stay in the bag.
Yeah, Marie, because initially when I first thought about Marie sending them to her rallying call of PTSD, guilt tripping to go and save Kate, I was like, my first thing before even her survivor's guilt was she having like a savior complex, like she needs to save because she knows that she's super powerful, so she feels like she can, sort of like an ego thing, so she feels like she can't do it, so she wants to test it out, and also because she wants to kill Cipher, whatever. So that was one. Those are I also thought somebody was going to die for sure. I still don't think, do I think they're all gonna leave there alive?
Like Liv Almira?
Yeah. I'm not actually too sure. I thought somebody was going to die this episode for sure. Whether it was Sam accidentally killing his dad, Marie accidentally killing
I mean,
somebody.
technically, somebody did that.
She just came
She
back
just
to
came
life.
back.
Oh, true. So, there we have it. But yeah.
I
Also,
think they might get out. I think any deaths would be for like the last two
The last 2
episodes.
episodes, yeah.
yeah,
Same.
I guess because Cipher is still trying to save them. And
Yeah.
also going back to Cipher being unhinged, I
Mhm.
know he has also gone through trauma because that nigga's funny as fuck. He gave
Yeah.
us so many comedic moments this episode. I was just there kiki and I'm like, bro, this is why we fear funny niggas.
There's something
But he had so many lines.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Is it it's like the offhand reverend? He's just like, he says it so
Yeah.
casually.
There's a wide shot when they cut to like when he's standing between Jordan and Marie's cells, and he's like, obviously he's crouched, but he does some shit with his legs where he's like almost dancing and shifting. I just go back and look at it. It's so
Yeah, I
weird.
need to
But like
rewatch
the way he looks, I just really like this performance so much because he's having a
It's
great
so
time.
funny. You can tell he's having fun.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find.
even in the locker room when like Jordan is like trying to pipe up and she's like, Marie said no, and then the way he just turns like that and is like, oh, I'm sorry, you must want me back up, you must want my hand back up your ass, and I was like, damn man, this guy is yeah. Excited for the last 3 episodes of the season. I think we can kind of wrap it there. We've already done our Emma lines. We all had
Have
the same.
we?
There's one
Yeah,
more Emma.
weird
There's
Bob,
one more.
I
There's
haven't-
one more Emma line.
Oh really? You
What's
get
that
some more?
line?
Okay, go.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So when kids was talking about, no, sorry, I said kid. When Marie was talking about like when they were forming the plan, and she was talking about how she escaped last time, and Emma was like, "Oh, is it that security guy that always smelled like chocolates?" Then
Did he have nuts?
then Emma was like, "Damn, I guess she didn't have nuts."
Oh gosh, what was yours, Chiagoziem?
So I had 2 moments that made me
Okay.
laugh from Emma. And so first of all, when she called Sam, what did she tell him?
I need a big favor.
Yeah, she was like, I need a favor, but not like the sexual kind.
Yeah.
I was like, this babe, hilarious.
Like
But
she's,
also, going back to that plan when they were planning how they're gonna break into Elmira.
Mhm.
So they finally got Emma on board, and she was like, "This plan is crazy, and I hate it, but I love you guys more." And then she
Mhm.
drew a heart. She drew a
Yeah.
heart where the like whatever thing is, and I'm just like, Emma is so funny.
She's so
Like
funny.
she's
She's
so
too funny.
hilarious.
She's actually too funny.
Can I make it
She's so
a bit
funny.
sad though?
Oh God.
I think she drew the heart where Andre died.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not
I think
where.
so. I think so
Is
too.
it? Oh,
Yeah. So
that
funny
is
but
sad.
sad. Sad but funny.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Also, shout out to Greg, our golden retriever.
Golden
So we're
Retriever
all
is
assuming
crazy.
that this guy is good, right?
I mean,
Like he's not gonna.
I've
Greg?
said in.
I mean, the fact that you know his name is kind of crazy because you don't know anybody's name.
No, I
and
wrote it down. I wrote it down because I didn't
Because
remember.
I just had him
Obviously,
as blonde guy who flies. But
yeah. I think I thought when
Nah,
I
I
heard
wrote his
Greg,
name this episode.
I thought of like Succession's Greg because he's kind of like dopey. So
yeah,
that was.
fair.
See, I do make TV links. Here we go.
No, I don't want to do it. I mean, for Emma, I hope he's not like
He's not a
doesn't turn
double
out to
agent.
be. Yeah, exactly. There was a point when Sister Sage came into the room to meet Cipher, I was afraid that it was Greg that was going to come in, that he had told them that he had told Cipher that they were coming. But obviously, Cipher was already steps ahead because it was a trap. Okay, let's wrap it up there. Just under an hour. Guys, thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We know the first half was quite tasking,
heavy,
but yeah, but like
What did we do
didn't
the
make this
first
shit
half?
up. It's right there in the show. Like it's there. It's the text. Is what the show wants us to talk about and think about. So, but yeah, join us. Join us next week when we'll be talking about some crazy shit. I'm sure, maybe emotional, definitely emotional. These niggas are still in Elmira. Like,
yeah, it's
like,
gonna be a crazy one. Yeah,
they're back there like PTSD.
Yeah, maybe Sam come and help them last minute.
Maybe.
Sure.
Does
he's had like enlightenment.
We'll get another cameo.
Let's see, who haven't we seen?
There's no one.
The Butcher.
A-Train?
Haven't seen
not
him
coming
this
to help.
season.
Okay, and now H-Train's ran away. H-Train's afraid of Homelander.
Yeah,
H-Train is
Right.
still in
H-Train ran away,
America.
but hey, remember he's in his Loki hero arc, so
I mean,
Sure.
it's fair, but he's in Cuba. He's in Cuba.
I mean, he could. Hey, how long
Might
does it
run
take to
back.
run to Cuba and run back?
Probably, you're right. It's probably a short time. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you all for listening. Join us next week when the three of us hopefully will be joined by Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.
Bye, hotties.
Bye, everyone.